Okay, so it's Sunday morning. Camden had a conflict in his schedule with sleep. So Nate and I are sneaking into the shop today to do some more work on Jimmy, get things sped along. Got a few things to tackle, so let's get to it.
Let's get to it. What's going on here?
Block. We're finishing up the battery relocation. These are the wires that go from the battery and the ground point that we put into the back to the junction blocks that we have put in the front.
That looks nice.
Thank you. Yeah, so we've got 4-gauge oxygen-free copper wire. Wow. Ran all the way to the back. We have a ground point in the back. We have a breaker in the back, and we have a battery in the back.
In the back.
So.
We're still sorting out the battery mounting and all that, so more on that later, but...
Yeah, but for now, we've got it ran, we've got it routed, we've got it hidden, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Oh, yeah.
So when you have a GS Spyder like this, it has a fuel pump relay control module that you need to bypass because the turbos don't want that.
No.
And here's the diagram of how you do that.
Yep. So we're gonna do that and call it good.
Yeah, we're going to do that. Coop's going to do that, and that'll bypass that whole thing. Okay, I think this is the last bit of harness modifications that we need to do. We're changing the cam angle sensor from the 2GB style that goes right here on the passenger side of the engine, right there, to the other side one for the 2GA underneath the intake cam. Just like Cooper is showing everybody, because it's obvious.
It's obvious.
Yeah, if you look there, we've got the cam angle sensor there underneath the intake cam. And that's, so we're just changing ends. We're just putting the connector for the right cam angle sensor on the harness. Boom.
Boom.
And Cooper's exercising his soldering skills.
That's right. So, no judge.
No.
No.
All right, we've got the timing all back together, and Camden's here.
I'm here.
We got the belt on, and now we're gonna hoist it up, get all the clutch, pressure plate, and flywheel on, and then we'll put the transmission on, and then we'll put it up in the car.
I'm excited.
I hope so.
It's gonna be nice to have a running car that'll work for more than 4 months.
With the engine ready to go, we need to get the transmission ready too, starting with a deep cleaning.
That's right, get it all nice and deep in there.
Get in there nice and deep.
What are you doing?
Cleaning the transmission so we can paint it so it doesn't look like this.
Oh, wow. What's the story behind this transmission? Where'd we get this?
We got this from Michigan, like almost everything else about this car.
Yeah.
Including the car.
The car, yeah.
Old car.
The old car. So we got this transmission, came off of a car that rusted out.
Yep.
It should be fine. It goes into all the gears just fine. We'll find out. That's half the fun, right?
Yeah.
Car's done, transmission doesn't work.
That's what happened to me twice. So I would not like that.
Nope. Happened to Coop too. First
but-
transmission and Snoopy.
Yeah, but it's funnier when it happens to me.
It is funnier.
Especially twice.
3 times would be pretty funny too.
No, it wouldn't. It's a little overkill.
Get in there nice and deep like. That's good. This thing's crusty.
Now that it's clean, Cam decided to fog it with some silver grill paint. Then we'll get some fresh seals installed.
Have all the boys gathered around a transmission. What are you guys doing?
Messing with the seals by replacing them.
Yes, we're replacing the shaft seals for the front axles. Coop just got the speed sensor in and the boot for the clutch fork.
Das Boot.
Yeah. We've got the clutch pressure plate and flywheel on. New starter plate. See that? That's the part number you need for a manual all-wheel drive 2G. ACT 2100 with a street disc because that's what we had.
Yep.
Time to get the engine and transmission installed.
One, go. Jump.
I tried to do stuff.
There we go. We did it. Good job. The engine's in.
Engine's in!
Camden's torquing the last bolt, and
Yep.
then the engine is in.
That's it. Except for the front roll stop. But we'll do that when we do it. We've got the side, the rear with the poly bushing in it now, and the timing side with a poly bushing, of course. Yeah, give that a shake. See if it's going anywhere.
Nate,
What?
that's not going anywhere.
Oh. What about you, Cam?
Not going anywhere.
No? Whoa, 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 whoa! All right, here's where we're at. We've got the Walter pipe on, thermostat housings on. We've got new silicone hoses on everything. That one's red because race car red is faster. Yeah, that's pretty much, that's where we're at. We need to get a turbo gasket before we can put the turbo on. So I think what we're gonna do next is we can get the shifter base and the cables in and get the whole shifter assembly set up, and we can put the clutch slave on, and maybe we can put the clutch master cylinder on. We'll look at that. Yeah, just chipping away. What are you doing?
On that grommet,
Yeah?
there was a plate bolted to the firewall to hold it in.
Oh yeah, the backing plate.
Yeah, that thing.
The backing plate for the shifter.
Yep.
Cable.
Yep.
Yeah, that one's a doozy.
Yeah,
Just
I have it
ask
loose.
Jared.
I have it loose.
Nice. All right, so when you go auto to manual, it's missing the holes for the clutch master cylinder. So from the inside, like Cam is, there's a little flap of insulation that's pre-cut. You pop this out, and then there's what, Cam?
There is, let me show them. 3 holes right there that need, one of them needs drilled, right? 2?
What?
1 or 2 or 3 of them need drilled?
Yes.
Yeah. I've never done this, so I don't know.
Yep, that's a hole. Go bigger. Oh yeah, it's got a way to go. Keep going. One more. Okay, yeah, put that back in and waller it around. All right, there it is. All bolted in like it's supposed to. It's not going anywhere, right?
Not a single place.
Nope. Here's a little comparison of the T25 and the T28 we've got here. This is, as you can see my fingers? See the gap between them? Now look at the gap. Isn't that, look. That's huge.
The T28.
Wow. I believe it's a 17 PSI wastegate actuator. And then, yeah, it's a FP T28. We got to transfer all those hoses and stuff. All right. We're tightening the turbo on. We've got all OEM bolts with the OEM spring washers. And we got one of those super thick stainless flange gaskets, 7 centimeter. It's the opening of a 7 centimeter housing. It's not 7 centimeters. That would just be...
That would be silly.
Yeah. Yeah, Cam will finish bottoming those out, and we'll torque it on, and then we can get all the plumbing attached to it. We got a lot of it pre-run, but we'll finish it up, and sleeper turbo will be installed.
Yes, sir.
All right, the turbo is in. It's in. We've got all the oil lines and the coolant lines all hooked up. We've got new bolts, new gaskets, and the crush washers that go under the heads of those. And yeah, it's all there. T28 goodness. We're working on cleaning up the shifter cables. This is the end that goes on the transmission. It had some surface rust, so Camden's taking care of that with a file. And then we have some new bushings to put in them. Shifter cables.
Shifter cables are going in.
Yep, and the base. You got the TCU just pulled out because we are going manual. This is an all-wheel drive swap and a manual swap. All right, I'll go in the engine bay and catch.
That's a good idea.
I don't see anything.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull them through.
Okay, I'm ready. Got him. What are you stuck on?
The plate came off the drum a little bit.
Oh, okay. The plate was stuck. Those plates are kind of tricky. They can be. Got the cables through. Now we're working on bracketeering here. This is our cable bracket. The secret to success are these. These are the little bushings that go in these holes. They're very important. You can have a lot of slop if those are worn out or missing. And you don't want slop. So yep, got to put those in. Then we can put the cables on. Well, we'll put bushings in the cables and then they'll go on. All right, these are all in. We've got our bushings in, our cotter pins, everything's greased. Moves real nice. Everything feels real good. Now let's go do the shifter base.
Yay.
All right. Oh, we're on the last one, the shifter base. These are the Extreme PSI aluminum bushings. Very nice fit. We didn't want this thing to move at all because Camden's going to be racing semi-competitively.
Yeah, hopefully.
I don't know if the other people will know, but all right. Put it in first gear. Oh, yeah?
Oh, it's so nice.
Pretty solid?
We forgot to put that on, but it's fine.
Oh, we need to put cotter pins on those.
That would help.
All right, I'll get those. I'll be right back. Just, okay, yeah.
We found that the outer tie rods were worn out on this car and the boots were torn, so we're taking this opportunity to refresh the steering rack with all new tie rods and boots, as well as a leaky outer seal.
His new inners, outers, and boots. Because Camden's going to autocross, so he needs to have tight steering.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. Once he's done with that, we'll slap it up in. So what we have going on here is this is a bar and plate bigger side mount intercooler for actually a 1G. But we were kind of looking at it. We found it on eBay.com, and it looked like the mounts were pretty close for what we needed on the 2G. So the front one bolts right in. The back one we're gonna need to make an adjustment to that mount
For that hole.
for that hole right there. And then it should be good to go. Now I know this is a really small intercooler because
For
it's
a really small guy.
It's a stock turbo-ish.
it'll be good for a T28. Plus, I think you were gonna run meth injection at some point.
If we need it.
Yeah.
If you need to.
It only makes things better.
That's true.
Meth makes the world go round.
Yep. All right. So you know what we need to do to make that bracket?
Get to work.
Get to work. All right. We have
My back. Continue.
we have the intercooler mounted. We actually did have to scoot it forward to get this elbow here. So we ended up drilling a new hole and doing a riv nut there. We rebent this one up here and did a riv nut here and put it in, and it's solid. We've got our lower intercooler pipe going up there, right out of the turbo. And then our upper comes here. And that's what we've got right now. This is just stuff we had laying around. Other than the intercooler, the pipes we had laying around. And that's pretty good. I think that's really nice. So now we're trying to figure out the fuse box. So because this was a Spyder, this is the fuse box we have. It's not like the turbo fuse boxes. So we can't just throw it in the fender like we have been doing on all of our builds. So we have to come up with a new spot. Coop, can you show us?
Yeah. So what we're looking at, because we have mounting point right there, a couple mounting points right there, what we're liking is putting a riv nut right into theirs area, give a little bit of distance from the transmission, and mounting sideways like that, and then creating a bracket from one of the existing holes and mounting to the other spot. It'll be pretty solid.
It'll be accessible.
It'll be just fine. It'll be accessible.
And it hides all the wires down under there.
And then it will be hidden partially by the actual intake pipe itself. So it'll be good.
Yeah, you happy with that, Cam?
I'm very happy with that, yes.
All right, that's good. So yeah, let's make some brackets and holes. All right, we got the fuse box mounted. It looks really good. So now we're working on the coolant overflow. We found a real nice spot down here. Camden's making a riv nut for it. So because this is the NA Spyder, it comes with a really nice fancy little coolant overflow like this, and it comes with a little bracket that just usually bolts right there, but now you can just bolt it anywhere. And then this is shaped, it has this corner punch out like this, and it sits just right like that over the corner there, and it's real nice. So Camden's gonna screw that in now after he hurts himself.
Oh gosh. There it goes, of course.
I didn't cut.
Where's that bolt we're gonna use?
I don't know. So not that way, not that way, not that way. Flip it over.
There we go.
Nope. And then one more time around. There it is.
Nut driver,
You want a nut driver?
perhaps.
The 10.
Yeah. This one right here.
It's right there.
Nut driver.
Driver.
There it is. Coop's gonna demonstrate the placement. Like that. It's beautiful. That looks good. Good work.
Outstanding.
Very nice.
All right, so with our fuse box relocation, we have two things. We have the battery connection, and then, oh, this might be the battery. And then the other one is where it connects this body harness to the ECU harness, to the engine harness. So right there, we've got this. Right there's our engine to body harness connection. And then we've got it zip tied right here to the fuse box to keep it together. Here's the battery. And then we'll go up and show you what it looks like upstairs. So this is where the body harness to engine harness connection is. And then we've got these puppies, which I'll figure out what they are. Here's where our battery comes from, the fuse box, or I should say to the fuse box, or from. It's two-way street. It'll just go to our positive lug there that we've run. And then the rest of the harness, we've got kind of some excess coiled up back here. We'll make sure it stays out of the CV shaft. And then we've got this P-clamp held here to hold it down, and this is everything that goes to up here on the engine, injectors and all this stuff, and we'll snake that up from underneath so you won't even see it. So yeah, really the only wiring you'll see is just like right there. Everything else will be really well hidden, and Camden likes that.
I do like that a lot, especially with the intake here. Everything's important where it should. It's going to look a lot nicer than it does now.
Yeah, it'll look good. But that's how we relocated and semi-wire tucked the 4G64 fuse box harness with this swap. It's gonna be pretty good.
Nothing too hard so far. I mean, that and the coolant overflow and with the basically bolt-on intercooler, it's all going together very nicely.
Yeah, it's like a puzzle right now.
Yeah.
And so far, everything was made for each other.
So far.
The radiator, it's a drop-in. That's going to be easy. All your intercooler or your coolant hoses, those are all standard, nothing custom there. Yeah, it's easy stuff from here on out.
Yeah.
That's good.
Smooth sailing.
Yep.
We got the belts on and the power steering and the alternator on the car now.
Yeah, all the accessory belts and pulleys and washers and everything. Alternator, what he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that finished up, we're going to move on to the intake manifold. It's just sitting on there right now. You didn't miss anything. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
And the throttle body.
And that stuff, yeah.
Yep.
We're doing an emissions delete on this car, so Camden is welding shut the vacuum ports on the throttle body.
All right, the intake manifold is on, the throttle body is on, and now we're on to the fuel rail and injectors. And what injectors are these?
These are 1000cc...
FIC.
FIC.
Yeah, FIC 1000 high impedance. We went with high impedance because we are using the 4G64 harness.
We didn't want to throw a resistor pack inline somewhere.
Yeah.
Because that was annoying.
Yeah, so we were just like, let's just get high impedance injectors. So yeah, you're gonna put that puppy in. You're just gonna wiggle it down into place.
What?
Yeah, make sure each one goes down in its hole real good. You can kind of get the bolts in and started to get your alignment.
Can I?
You gotta be closer than that. We'll come back. All right, now we got the coils on and the timing, or the spark plug wire cover on. Got the upper cover, timing cover on. We got our fender washers on. PCV hose. And yeah, we're gonna move on from all that now, and we're gonna put the radiator in. Now, what radiator do we have, Camden?
We have a Fluidyne radiator.
A Fluidyne radiator.
Fluidyne.
Yeah, so funny story. We went to go get the transmission from the guy, this transmission right here, and he was like, here, just take all this extra stuff. That radiator was in it. I was like, yeah, we're gonna use that. So we're gonna use that. We got to take those hoses off, and we got to put the other fan on.
Yeah, because that one's a little bit melted, I think.
Yeah, just a little bit melted. Goodness. We'll fix that. We've got the fans from the old radiator. We'll just plop them on there. It'll be good. All right, we got the radiator in. Fluidyne there. Looks pretty cool. We flushed it out real good.
Yeah.
And cleaned up the inlet and the outlet because it was a little crusty. And you could hit this with some aluminum polish if you wanted to clean that up. Same with this.
I probably will do that eventually.
Yeah, we'll get to it. This is run, and Camden you can just chip away at this and make it cleaner, you know, next off season or the one after.
Yeah.
Do the great delete all this stuff. Alternator delete, don't need that. All right, let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
All right, we've got the heater core hoses on, the starters in, and that's where we're gonna stop up here because we need to get a thermostat before we continue. But then we can finish plumbing the radiator. We've got to make an intake pipe. We do have our intercooler pipe that we could put on, so we might do that. But so you've already seen the runs from the back. We've got a positive off the battery to a breaker, and then it comes up here and hits this post here. From this post, we've got these 2 wires which go to our fuse box. That powers our fuse box. And then from the fuse box, we've retained the factory feed to the alternator from the alternator. We'll address that if we need to, but that's probably still okay. None of the wires looked weird. And then this wire here goes to the starter. See it up in there. So that finishes our positive power distribution. You also have to address ground. If you rely on just the factory chassis grounds and everything, you're gonna have a bad time, maybe. But this, it improves it quite a bit if you do this. So we've got a ground from the post in the back to another one we added to the chassis right back there. That gives a good ground to everything in the back and the chassis ground points in the back, which are all tied together to all the grounds. But then we run one all the way up here, and we grab this negative post right here, and from there we come up here, and this is going to give a good chassis ground to the front engine bay, which has all the factory grounds tied to the fender walls or the frame rails and all that stuff. Again, and then there's one here with the firewall, which just ties in the factory harness. Ignore that, I'm gonna fix that. And then we have one more ground going from this junction block to the starter. Now you have to have the starter have its own ground wire. That's how it was designed from the factory. You might be able to get away with just having the transmission grounded pretty well, but it's always best to get one right on the starter bolt for the starter, because you want a good power connections to your starter. But that's how we fix the wiring. We'll reestablish the factory grounds like this one, but we know the firewall has a really good ground to it now. So we should have no power problems with this car. We should have very stable power. Our alternator's there, unmodified. That's how it is from the factory. So that is the electrical system, power distribution anyway. All right, so to make a speed density intake for these, it's really easy. You get one of these generic 45 intercooler pipes. This is 2.5, and then you get one of these 45 elbows. This is a 2.25 to 2.5, and then you cut down the leg of it so it sits in there, and then it makes a Z, comes right up here, and then you put an intake filter on it. Boom. And then on this side of it, you thread in a little barb for your PCV vent. Speed density intake for like 30 bucks, 35 bucks. Nice. What are we doing now, Kim?
We're drilling a hole in the intake pipe so we can weld this bung in.
The intercooler pipe. This is the upper intercooler pipe that houses the blow-off valve. We've got a bung here for our GM intake air temp sensor. This is a steel pipe, so we have a steel bung. Camden's gonna weld it himself, like a real racer. Cooper. All right, here it is. Camden's very first weld today.
Yeah.
Or did you weld at work?
No welding at work today.
No welding at work today. Looks pretty good. Good work.
Thank you.
All right, a little bit of an update. We have our lower intercooler pipe on. We have the slave cylinder on and the clutch line ran. We're gonna still strap this up. Probably put a P-clip right there just to hold it out of the way. That'll look real nice like that. And we have our transfer case on. We've got the flywheel inspection cover. Transfer case is on. Drive shaft is in. And we got some Torque Solutions solid aluminum bushings, which make this thing pretty sturdy.
Oh yeah.
And Camden likes that.
Some nice drivability.
Yeah, we have the axles, the front CVs are in. We've got to swap out these lower control arms. So that's why it's not back together yet. And we've got to do some stuff to the suspension. But yeah, we've made good progress tonight. Camden's happy.
I'm very happy. We got a lot done.
I'm happy that the drive shaft fits because we put those mounts in.
Completely blind.
Just blind.
Just sent it.
Like bats. All right. So when we put the clutch master cylinder on earlier, we didn't have it on right because the stud that comes this way is actually on the pedal assembly. So when you put the pedal assembly on, it uses the 2 outer bolt holes of those 3. So the 2 bolts on the master cylinder are the 2 bolts on the pedal assembly with the firewall in between. The pedal assembly has a stud going out, and the master cylinder has a stud going in. So you get those in and then a nut on each side instead of a bolt from the back, because we didn't have the pedal on yet. Well, now we got the pedal on. And so that top stud, that hole right there, Cam's getting it tight right now, but that'll come out from the pedal. That is the pedal assembly stud. And that's how you do that. Clutch swapped from an auto.
Thanks for watching. In the next episode, we get this thing on the ground, running and racing, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.
Tighten the torque wheel.
I'm leaking information. Let's Edward Skoda in. It vibrated 95.5. Which one did I just do?
That's a nice looking flywheel too.
The flywheel has been through 2 burglaries. My house was broken into twice. Twice. And I'm pretty sure they picked that up and dropped it once because it was very out of place after the first time.
They were like, what is this?
This stupid thing?
Is it a medallion?
And then they came back and they're like, forget that thing.
It's heavy. It's heavy.
I'm just gonna go around.
We can't
1,
carry all the Nintendo games if we have this thing.
Right, yeah.
They're like, what is this?
Does this
and
guy
then the
do-
other guy's like, put that down.
Does this guy do discus? 5. All right, I think they're all done. If I missed one, 6 out of 7's fine.
It's good enough.
It's a passing grade.
Yes. Let's check them one more time. I just want to make sure I got all of them. 7, 8. Did you say 8?
What are we doing?
I 8 bolt swapped it.
Said I didn't want to be on camera.